you have extra money. I've been pretty much a mess since I read that, and
I am literally being kicked out of this apartment by 5 o'clock tomorrow.
And if I don't find another place by the end of September, I'm going to be essentially homeless.
Into a place that I can't afford.
Needs to invent a software or app that allows you to pay your rent off over the month.
I feel like I've done everything right. Like I went to school, I got my degree, I got a job, but like with rent and bills and student loans and groceries.
Hey guys, welcome back to More to Life. Now, before I get into this video, I ask that you like, comment, subscribe. Also, smash that notification bell just to be sure you get on my videos as soon as I release them. Let's get right into this.
Okay, cool. So I'm having to move out of my house because I can't afford rent. So I'm moving into my parents' property. So I'm just saying, like, you know what? Me moving into my parents' house at 30 is going to be the best thing that's ever happened to me. It doesn't matter. We're going to be fine. We're all going to be fine.
you can help me if any of you have extra money. Yeah, I've been pretty much a mess since I read that, and I don't know what to do. So if y'all could please help and reach out, that'd be great. That'd be really great. Thanks. I need your help. I might lose my house, and this letter is an indication, which I'm pretty sure it is. I'm literally shaking. Yeah, my heart is pounding. It's like over 100 beats per minute. So yeah, I'm really going through the anxiety. Okay. If anyone can help me with that, I would really fucking appreciate it, because like I really don't know what I'm gonna do without this place. I have spent so much time crying, and I have a lot more complicated of a situation regarding me losing my house than most people do.
This part right here, it grinds my gears. I'll tell you why. She wants somebody to help her. But if somebody helps you, say if they paid off 3 months of your rent, what's going to happen 3 months from now? If not 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, or a year from now, you're going to go through the same situation. Then what are you doing? Asking for more help. Listen, you can't afford this. I don't know if you have parents that you're going to run to. A lot of women running back home to their parents. I get it. I've been there before. But to ask for help, it defeats the whole purpose.
I want to know who they're pricing these expensive ass apartments for. Who are they pricing it for? Because there's no way that I can't find a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom for lower than $2,300 that's actually decent. No roaches, no rats. We should not be in a state where minimum wage workers have to live with 3 to 4 people in order to afford to live. Everyone at minimum should be able to afford to live alone. Period.
That's not true all the time, right? Sometimes people, especially in your case, I don't know if you have kids or not, but if you don't have kids, I think having more than one person to live with is solid. There are people that have 4 or 5 roommates, or there are people that have it's like a dorm style, to where someone has 1 bedroom, they'll turn a living room into a bedroom, the dining room will be a bedroom, and everybody lives. I think you need to be in a situation like that. You don't see that as fit. That's your problem. That's why you're struggling now.
I am not in a good situation. I am not okay. I don't know what to do. I am literally being kicked out of this apartment by 5 o'clock tomorrow to avoid getting an eviction on my record. And my parents have lied, essentially, and gone back on everything that they said that we were supposed to have set up for me. So, now I'm just, and I literally have like 30 hours before I have to be out of this apartment, or I have to go back to court. So, so if anybody can help me, please help me. I don't know what to do. I live in Columbus, Ohio. I will literally pack it up and go anywhere. I'll go anywhere right now. I will go anywhere.
Man, that sounds personal. It sounds like she has problem with her parents or something. I don't know, but that's sad. But I don't feel sad.
I'm currently in a position where I'm losing my apartment in Quebec, and if I don't find another place by the end of September, I'm going to be essentially homeless. I have nowhere else to go. Now, there's a few mistakes that I made in this process, and that's the reason that I am sharing this video, because I don't want other people to make the same mistakes as I am and end up in the same position as I am. I can't be out in August. Like, that's way too fast. And her response to that was to send a threatening letter, threatening legal action if I don't agree to what she's propositioning. And I said, well, no, this is not what we agreed to. I can't do this. So she goes and gets a lawyer. And the lawyer sends me a very threatening letter saying that if I don't agree to what she wants, that they're going to go to the rental tribunal and they're going to have me evicted. And guess what their reason for having me evicted for? Non-payment of the full amount of rent. They obviously can't do this. I mean, there's no way that they can have me evicted based on this. Well, guess what? Yeah, they can. I went to see a lawyer and yeah, they can. And she advised me, look, enter into agreement with her, because otherwise, not only can she go to the regie, have you evicted for not paying the full amount of rent, but she can also request back pay for all of the rent that you didn't pay.
Welcome to adulthood.
While I could afford my actual apartment and the rent, I really could not do anything else but stay inside. Be able to go on like trips to Europe and things like that. So if you're a young person that's easily influenced and you want the lifestyle that you see everywhere online, just think twice about it, because it's not always amazing and not always great.
I moved into a place that I can't afford, and now I'm stuck. I recently moved into a luxury apartment, and though it is nice and I like it and all these other things, I realized that I can't afford it. But as far as like what I want to do in life, I can't really afford it. In a sense of, now I'm in a position where it's like I'm here and I pay so much in rent, it's to the point where it's like I can't even go on a trip right now. Like I can't, and I haven't traveled in a while, and I'm very big on traveling. Like I'm very big on going out and stuff like that. And I can't really do it as much as I would like to, because it's like I can't afford it.
Okay.
You know, now I'm making more money, so it just makes sense for me to get a nicer place. It just makes sense for me to get a luxury apartment, because I'm making this amount of money, and people who make this amount of money live in this kind of place. Like I'm in a position I honestly and truly can say like something drastic will happen, knock on wood, I pray not. I don't know if I'll be able to afford it. At least before, you know, when I wanted to, I can go on trips and I can do different things. And it's just like the same problems that I was having before, I have again, because I feel like every time I want to, like I level up my lifestyle, I feel like I have to level up all the problems with it. And it's like, that's why I truly never level up. So I just thought that was so crazy, because I really was sitting here and I'm like, yo, I can afford this place on paper, but like I can't afford this place in my soul.
That's what all these women do. It's sad to see, right? They, as she said, you get a promotion. Say if you get a promotion for $2,000 higher, that doesn't mean you should stack on another 1,000 of more bills, because what's going to happen? You won't be able to take those trips. But I'll tell you this, me as a young guy, I didn't take many trips anywhere. Actually, I was smart. Me as a young guy, I moved to upstate New York. Now, do you know the difference in prices between being in the city and going to upstate? At the time, this was about maybe 15 years ago. But at the time, when I did it, living in the city was always, New York City, you already know. Or I was from Queens. Say if I lived in Queens, you would pay like around $3,000, $4,000. And then living upstate New York, you're going to pay around, at the time, $500 for, yes, $500. And I had an extremely big living room, extremely big bedroom. The place had to be at least 100 square meters. And I had a 3-bedroom. I was happy and satisfied. Now, if I wanted to go to the city and participate in things happening in the city, all I had to do, because at the time I didn't have a car, and I didn't have a car too, I would have to take a 3-hour bus ride right down to the city to participate in all the events in one of the best cities to be in the world. And I did it sometimes. Don't you think I saved a lot of money? That's how a lot of these women need to live. And a lot of these women need a man that's like that, that'll live in a place like that. And they shouldn't mind because they're going to save money and do everything they want to do in their life. But most of them don't.
Made 10 DoorDashes in the last 2 hours. And guess how much I made? Guess. After gas, I made a whopping $24.76. Not even a full $25. Like, I can't even get my own food DoorDashed for $25. Okay? When I moved to Cali from Texas last year, I really thought that I was going to be living my California dream. I got my full-time job. I got health insurance, benefits, all of that stuff, all of the things that I thought that I needed to live a comfortable life. And it just feels like I can never make ends meet. Like, I'm literally clocking into my 5 to 9 after my 9 to 5. Hold on, girl. I got to order. And I'm just so frustrated because I feel like I've done everything right. Like, I went to school, I got my degree, I got a job, but like with rent and bills and student loans and groceries and gas, like it just feels like I just cannot get ahead. And it's like these billionaires who have never had to lug 5 Big Mac meals with drinks.
I love to eat.
Up 3 flights of stairs. It feels like they are making money hand over fist. Something has got to give, and I feel like it needs to be them because I'm tired. All right, the billionaires need to start opening their pocketbooks because I can't afford to keep on opening mine.
You made a mistake there. I'll tell you this. I recently had to bring my son back from the Philippines, right? I was in Los Angeles, and I said, wow. I started reflecting on the area I was in. I was in Los Angeles. I went through the wild areas to stay in my hotel I was staying at. But that ride from the airport to the hotel cost me $95. I may have been in the cab for 10 minutes. $95. I got in my room and I had to go past all of these seedy areas. I went past all of them. And I'm looking at the cab and how much it's costing. I'm looking at the area. I'm looking at things and I'm realizing, I'm thinking about the areas I'm passing. I'm passing Long Beach. I'm passing all of those areas, right? I'm like, wow, a lot of people over there they're probably selling drugs or doing whatever they need to get by, hustling. Because you need to be a hustler to get by in areas like that. To be in New York City, in the main part of the city, you have to be a hustler. Right? Something like DoorDash is not going to cut it. But to live your dream in Los Angeles, in this time that we're in now these days, go somewhere cheaper. Think about the cheapest place you can go. And don't live your dream. Live your dream and maybe trying to do a business, right? Do something online and live your dream that way and being home. Seriously, because this isn't it.
Freaking out right now. Because I live in Southern California. I live in an apartment, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. I'm already paying $3,200 for this tiny little apartment, like 700 square feet, 2-bed, 2-bath. And I just got my renewal lease offer. Now they're going to be charging me $3,800. That's like a $600 increase from what I'm paying now. $600. So I'm freaking out because I can barely afford where I'm living right now. It's already hard. I already work 2 jobs. How on earth am I going to have to spend an extra $600? And that's not even including my utilities. With utilities, it'll probably be $4,000 for my 2-bed, 2-baths in California. Going from $3,200 to almost $4,000. How is this possible? Who can afford to do this? Who can afford to live here? If this is what's going to happen, I'm going to move to a 1-bedroom apartment. So I don't know. Like, I'm freaking out. I feel helpless. I can't contact the leasing renewal specialist because they're closed on the weekends. It's Saturday. So I don't know what to do. I don't know if this is right. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing.
God forbid you want to live in Hollywood, downtown LA, anywhere, just anywhere central. It is so overpriced, and you pay for so much for such little. It is so ugly out here.
Everybody's struggling.
Someone needs to invent a software or app that allows you to pay your rent off over the month.
You can't make this up.
And I know they have like flex rent, which breaks your rent up into like 4 payments or something like that. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if I got $25 to put towards my rent this week, let me put $25 to it. If next week I want to put $437 to it specifically, let me do that. Like, can y'all invent that? That's an idea that I had, but
Tell me I'm just stupid.
I don't have the means to create it. So can someone please create it? Because
look at the mindset behind paying the bills. She wants an app where you're paying next to nothing. There's never going to be an app like that. Because the people that are renting the place to you, they need their money. Otherwise, you'll be evicted out and out on the street. And that's what's happening. You women are being evicted.
So I begged my landlord yesterday to let me stay here until the 17th so I could try to pay them back. It is now $1,000-something for my rent. Like, I'm not joking. Fun fact, my leasing office, whatever it is, landlord, they used to take partial payments. This year they decided we're not taking partial payments anymore. We just take the whole amount. How is that fair? Like, I literally continue to rack up late fees because you won't let me pay the full amount, like any amount of it. Like, how is that even like be so for real? And then on top of that, I literally live by myself. I'm the only one who has to pay this amount.
That's not my problem.
Just to live, just to have all my stuff that I have, which I don't, that's not even worth this much.
Living at home was never the plan, but I have been living back with my mom for the last 9 months now, and I wanted to talk about maybe the biggest pro of moving back in that I think is worth considering if you are in a situation where you could live with family for a short to midterm amount of time. So hear me out. I am a hypnotherapist. I work for myself. It's a one-woman show, and I love what I do. I genuinely love getting to work with people in this way. But as with any business, it's not really linear, and things are constantly changing, and I'm constantly refining what I'm doing to grow my business. And in order to focus on my business, or in order to even pursue this at all, when I was living on my own, which I was doing for the last, 6.5, almost 7 years, completely alone, no roommates, I have a cat, but otherwise alone. I was doing so many other jobs. I was a nanny, I was a freelance writer, I was a yoga teacher, I worked part-time as a temp for my former university's admissions team every winter. Like, the list goes on, and it was so stressful. And I think my nervous system got so used to constantly being in go, go, go mode that I didn't actually realize what it was like to rest. And I didn't realize that I didn't realize it until maybe 6 to 8 weeks after moving back in with my mom. And I was like, oh wow, if I'm tired, I can rest. I can sleep like a full night of sleep if I want to. I don't have to constantly be thinking of how to make this happen or that happen. I don't have to constantly be working, doing this job over here and that job over there. I could just focus on this thing that I really want to work out. And so, look, everyone's situation is going to be different, right? You have to figure out what is best for you. There's also cons that go along with moving back in with family as an adult, and we can talk about those in another video if you want. But I think if you are in a position where you really want to pursue a certain line of work or a certain degree or something that is going to stretch you or require you to be super stretched thin by living on your own, if you have the opportunity to live with family or to have some sort of living situation that gives you more stability and more groundedness, I really think it's worth considering.
Yeah, that's what most of these women need to do. You see them crying and complaining, but they need to move back in with their moms. Maybe they on bad terms with their moms. I don't know, but they need to, right? Because listen, yeah, of course, guys look at it like, wait, you bash guys for, and I look at it like that hard. You bash guys for doing the same thing. If a guy was 30 years old or 25 years old and be living with his mom, she's seen as a loser. And yeah, that's how all women look at guys. And guys don't care that, like, if a guy's working, he'll rather just stay home and not go out and spend that money because he wants to save in case he's having a hard time paying the bills. Then he'll be worried. He'll go to work and do things to pay the bills, but he's not out doing the other nonsense. But this woman here was a hustler, and she doesn't want to do it anymore. I get it. Move back in with your mom.
Do y'all want to know why I moved back home at the age of 30? Let me explain. So I'm 31 right now. I'm going to be 32 later this year. But about a year ago and some change, I moved back in with my parents for the second time. The first one being back in 2017. And initially I moved back to DC, the DMV, whatever y'all want to call it, because I was fresh out of grad school. I had gone to grad school in California, and I came back here to get a nonprofit job. Long story short, LOL, that did not work out. I ended up getting my license to become a therapist, which is what I am now. And then a few years ago, at like the end of 2020, I moved into my own apartment at this high-rise, like luxury building in Silver Spring. And that ultimately did not work out. So end of last February, I moved out of that place and I moved back in here thinking it was going to be like very temporary before I went to Miami, which is where I'm trying to end up going. But Lord knows I do not have enough money to live there yet. And I did not think I would still be here a year later. And it's looking like it might be another year until I actually can get out. But I'm back home and I've been making the most of it. I definitely want to give y'all a little room tour, but I feel like this talking video is going to get kind of long, so I'm going to make a separate video for that. But without getting into too many of the dirty details of my family, it is chaotic here. It's both my parents. We're actually not together, so that's a whole story on its own. And then all three of my siblings, one who's 34, two of them who are twins and they're 25, and all of us have like drastically different personalities, interests, living habits, mental illnesses. So it's just a lot going on at all times. And as a therapist who works from home, like I'm basically losing my gourd almost every day. It takes a lot to keep it together. But I am grateful that I have a place to live for free. I don't pay rent or bills. I'm completely self-sufficient otherwise. I have my own car. I pay for my own groceries, etc., etc. But I know I'm definitely in a fortunate position. And I have a big room. I have a big room and my own bathroom. So the kitchen is really the only shared space, which is the bane of my existence, but it could be worse.
The audacity.
So if y'all are in your 30s or even if you're in your 20s and you have to move back home, trust me, you're not alone. This economy and this country overall is just in shitter right now. So we are not getting the things that were promised to us when we were younger. And best believe we will get there. It just might take a little bit longer.
Now, you notice what she said. The country is in a right? But you lived in Single Spring, Maryland, you said, in a high rise. And then you said you're trying to move to Miami. You're living home with your parents. How about you be a grown-up and move somewhere cheaper that you can afford? If you can be a therapist online, I explained it earlier in the video where I live. You can move to the most, there are inexpensive places still out there. Don't tell me there's not. I know everything's expensive, but you can find a place. You can move in off-the-wall Idaho somewhere. You can move in Nantucket, right? And be alone and get a place. Just look on the maps. Find cheapest places you can move and find something. You probably can find something out there for $900 or $1,000. Move there. You work online. Move there. But no, you can't do it because you want to be where everything is popping. Where everything, Miami. These women are lost. Time to grow up.
there's nothing wrong with moving in back home. I heard him, and I needed a video like this, and a friend tagged me in this video because I moved out of my parents' house for the first time last August. I spent 6 months in Arizona. Arizona was just not working out, and my heart wasn't in it as well. So I moved back in with my parents, and I've been beating myself up because I'm like, dang, like you're a failure. You're a failure. You moved back in with your parents. But it's like, am I really a failure? Like, girl, you speak multiple languages. You've accomplished so much on your influencing journey, like PR and brand events. And on top of that, you speak 3 languages. You're an educator. You just failed at moving out, and it's time to like reset. And now I'm going to go ahead and build my savings, build my credit, and in a year,
gaslighting, your lies, your deranged.
Year and a half, we're gonna try this again. But there's nothing wrong with moving in with your parents.
The nerve.
I left my parents' house officially when I was 18 years old. I am now 36 and living with them again. So how is it? Let me tell you. It's like I've never left. My parents still treat me the same as if I was 16 or 17 years old. I always had this dream that like when I grew up, me and my parents would be able to like transform our relationship into like more of a friendship. That is not going to happen. The traditional norms, the traditional stereotypical roles of daughter and parental unit will stay. The thing is, like, everything has its pros and cons. Like I said, my parents still treat me so much so as like I was 16 years old. And so there's a lot of like frustration that grows out from that. But there's also pros in terms of like my mom cooks and I get to eat her cooking again and it's delicious. I love Polish food and we're adapting. Yes, we're adapting. We're adapting. I think it's like my husband is such a super easygoing type of individual. So for him, he doesn't really mind too much. Kind of smiles, he does his thing. My parents don't really bother him that much. And so usually they just direct all of their annoying things onto me. I have a complicated relationship with my parents. At the same time, as they are aging and getting older, I have to say that it has been nice to spend some more time with them. We had our ups and downs, but it's been nice to be able to spend some time with them. You never know how much time you have left with your parents, and even if you do have like somewhat complicated relationship with them, they are my parents and I love them, and I will try to make the most out of every situation that I am with them. And this is not full time. I told Marcus and we were very clear that this was just going to be very temporary until we can establish ourselves and then be able to understand where our next step is. I'm grateful, I'm happy, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm irritated. All the feelings you get when you all live with your parents. I mean, especially like immigrant parents. I mean, immigrant parents are like frustrating on their own levels. So far we haven't killed each other yet, so that's a definite plus. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or thoughts or ideas or anything else, let me know right here.
Just be happy. Be happy. You and your husband have a place to go to when times are hard. That's what parents are for. Parents are still going to treat you like you're their baby. If I call my mom right now, she's going to call me all kinds of babies and everything and want to give me a hug. That's my mom. You got to love it. But yeah, as you see, guys, more turmoil from women that are going through it. Rents are high. No matter whether they're married, whether they're single, they're all going through hell. And men are trying to stay away from women like that. That's going to run up the bills on them. Like, these are things men are staying away from. And nobody realizes it. Men are staying away from headaches. Women that run up bills. A woman that say, oh, we need this. Oh, we need that. Oh, we need this. No, you don't. You don't need that. That causes you to be broke. And more guys are not trying to go broke because they already know. It's definitely more to life. They're going through that.